everybody, Keith Jameson, aka Gator Guy 231, here to break down the one-game showdown between Manchester City and Burnley. This is going to be a really one-sided affair, as there are a lot of Man City games, but we have some huge prize pools on DK and FanDuel. So really do want to kind of go down to the tactical breakdown, kind of, what I think you might see, and, how that can affect your DFS builds, give you a couple of roster construction, and move on. Now, if you are looking for interleague, that is going to be subscriber-only content. I do have a short preview video, only good for subscribers, along with the cheat sheet. So make sure you jump into our Discord. Link at the bottom. You can do like a weekly package. It's $10. Every single slate is covered, along with some video exclusives. Or you can do $40. That carries you to the end of the European season. It does officially appear that we're going to have Europa and Champions League after EPL. Subscription will be good through then. So join, check out. We'd love to have you. Really, really fun Discord channel. Lots of soccer talk. We went on very long talks about Joelinton, Giroud, all these things. Yesterday, both of those plays actually came to fruition, but just fun if you enjoy soccer, enjoy DFS, enjoy strategy. A great place to check out. All right, let's go into the game. So, as I said, this is a very, very one-sided affair. We have Manchester City as a minus 850 favorite. So immediately, that favorite alone should just be telling you that it's a 5-1 type of stack or 4-2. And the reason to be 4-2 is because, if you want to fit in the heavier Man City pieces, you're going to need two savings pieces. This is a 4-2 type of thing. And again, we're talking optimal. I'm going to mention some GPP pivots. But in an optimal construction, you're going to want the attacking piece of Man City. You're going to want Kevin De Bruyne. Maybe if anything, the fullbacks become a little bit of like a luxury where they're priced at. But you're going to want at least two attackers, the set taker, and go from there. So let's start off. Actually, I want to start off with Burnley. And this is also where I'm going to mention the GPP pivot. Ben Mee is going to be very, very popular because of his price. He's $3,200. Does, rack up some tackles, some fouls drawn, some interceptions, and the occasional header in the box. So he and Tarkowski, now Tarkowski is about 400 more, takes him off on some builds. But I think for GPP, there are like three guys I want to mention. And actually, they have Chris Wood projected out, which kind of throws a wrench in this. So neither one of these guys are target guys. Jay Rodriguez, Vidira, or not really target guys. Jay Rodriguez a little bit. City can get leaky and susceptible. Now, Burnley, it's in Sean Dyche. He's going to very much just sit all the numbers behind and only look to go on the counter. So a couple ways that you can play this. You can play just a counterattack goal, play like a Jay Rodriguez or Vidira, and just hope that you get it. The other route that I think is very valuable and actually kind of works in optimal builds too is just hoping for the set piece goal. They might get 2 to 3 corners, maybe a few more. But Ben Mee and Tarkowski, they're I guess it's Tarkowski. I thought I heard Tarkowski. Anyhow, my bad. But they're both aerial threats. Now, I don't know if you have to correlate with Dwight McNeil or Ashley Westwood. I don't know if that assist is that important because I think you can make up the assist on the City side. But if you can get a goal from one of the cheap center backs, I think you have a really good shot at some sweats and at least, a solid cash. So on the other GPP pivot, Nick Pope, as we saw burn Leno, got super, what's the right word? Busy on Wednesday. Burnley really likes causing long shots. They don't want to they want to pack tightly, and they don't want to give, Aguero a sitter. They really want to force these shots outside the box. Nick Pope's a really good goaltender. Probably should be England's number one from Pickford, but, he doesn't play the ball great at his feet is what Southgate says. Anyhow, he's a good shot stopper. So if he can, see a good amount of shots outside of the box, have, good vision to save those, he could easily be Burnley's top scorer. I think he's sub 4K, like 3,900 if I remember right. So, yeah, I think these three are my favorite three plays on Burnley with, J-Rod, I've always been a big fan of, or Vidira. I don't know if Chris Wood's out, but if Chris Wood's in, maybe for a deep GPP, look at them. He's a huge, huge target man. in the box. So, that could be a way to nick a goal. I do not think that you need to chase the sets of Westwood and McNeil. I don't think that they're going to be active or have the ball enough that I really care about those sets. All right, City side. This is where all your exposure is going to be. So, Gabriel Jesus started last game, which means Sergio Aguero should start here. He is by far my favorite City attacker. I'm just saying, like the elephant in the room. Like if you play Kevin De Bruyne. There's no way you don't play him. Now, where you can change up is, we saw him super chalk in the captain spot on Wednesday. For GPP pivots and to already become contrarian, don't play Kevin De Bruyne at captain. Personally, I ended up with Sterling at captain for my main line because I didn't like the builds that you had to get to have KDB at captain. It worked out fine. I had to get the goal, but you did. And, with the 3.5 total, there's a good chance that City is going to nick at least 2 to 3 goals. So I think Aguero is a fine pivot at captain from De Bruyne, probably has more ceiling than KDB. Couple other plays. Phil Foden won some GPP on Wednesday. I really like the player. He's going to fall in that mid tier. So I think that's a very, very fine play. Raheem Sterling, I'm always a big fan of. I think Bernardo Silva would actually be the odd man out in a lot of my builds. He is a great footballer, but likely will not be taking any sets. Not nearly as active of a shooter as Mahrez is. So GPP play, of course, but I don't, even with the price discount, I just don't necessarily know like he's just the plug and play. I do like the player. Not saying not play him. Just if I can fit KDB, Aguero, Sterling, I'd prefer to do that. Now let's talk about Ben Mendy. He was either second or third most owned guy from City on Wednesday and absolutely played a dud. Now the analysis still stands. Like he is still will very much play as a winger when Walker's in. Just Pep has no problem changing things up and throwing us for a loop. He only finished with 2 crosses and just really didn't get involved. Could some of that have been weather? Sure. And Pep playing more pragmatic down the middle. But I still think it's a great play. Just a lot of this is going to be game flow dependent. So if Burnley can hold City to outside of the box, not many goals or not many shots, and City's just struggling to really break Burnley down, then they're going to go to the cross game. And if they go to the cross game, Ben Mendy will be very involved. So I think for cash, you go there. But with where we saw the ownership, that might be a really good GPP pivot. Rodri in the middle, huge center midfielder. It's 4,800. He fits a lot of builds pretty nicely. So I think he'll be fairly popular. Before break, he had a few goals coming into it, not only from a set piece, but he doesn't mind shooting outside the box. So I do like that play quite a bit too. Nicholas Onamende, we had last Wednesday, I think we had a couple people chat and bring up great points on him. Despite his woes as a defender, he's actually a really good DFS target and he's cheap. Really, by far the best target man. He and Laporte are really the only. These are the only 3 City tall guys. So with all the corners that they probably will generate, all 3 of these are goal targets. So correlating them with a KDB captain line makes a ton of sense. Aguero is 5'7", so he's not a target man. He's going to get the ball at his feet and score with his feet versus his head off of set pieces more often than not. Finally, Kyle Walker. I think it's a good time to fade him after his very, very, very good game versus Arsenal. He's just going to be more defensive for City more often than not. Where I do like using Walker is some sort of defender clean sheet stack line where you're KDB, Aguero, and then playing 2 of these defenders plus Ederson. Kyle Walker will be a lot lesser owned than Mendy, I believe. So, that's a good pivot. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to go over. I don't really think so. Keep in mind, if you want to win the top prize, you've got to be contrarian. So it's just seeing more and more lately that being contrarian is a bench guy. So if you see this, Mahrez immediately stands out to me as somebody that could come on with fresh legs versus a slower Burnley and tear it up. Gabriel Jesus also fits the bill. I don't think Leroy Sané is playing anymore. Like they're probably going to sell him, so I don't know if they're going to risk his injury. That was another thing in our Discord a couple people brought up, so I think that's very sharp and very potentially right. So that might be the sub that I would avoid. Trying to think if there's anybody else in City's bench. I think it'd be Mahrez, Jesus, and then if you want to really go off the board, like a David Silva, might fit that Phil Foden build of a not as expensive guy. Might be the 0.1% owned and go from there. But I do think there's a really good chance that you could see similar to Wednesday with the opposing goalie with like a Nick Pope in that GPP winning line. Well, anyhow, really appreciate you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Once again, Keith Jameson, Gator Guy 231, wishing you good luck. And if it's not me taking this down to GPP, which it probably will not be, I really hope it's one of you all, or if it's somebody in our chat. Guys, take care. Have a great day.